Remember when the Cleveland Cavaliers this previous offseason signed Derrick Rose, signed Dwayne Wade for these cheap deals, and we thought this team was going to be an absolute powerhouse? They traded for Isaiah Thomas, made all these moves, signed Jeff Green, and we look at this team now. It's February, and this team is struggling like crazy, more than ever before, and LeBron James is rumored to leave. Would this actually be good for the Cleveland Cavaliers if LeBron James actually left the organization? What's good, YouTube? My name's Crush, and today we're going to be talking about why the Cavaliers might actually still be decent and maybe even championship contenders when LeBron James does leave, as he is heavily rumored to leave. But I got to give you guys some reasons why I think Cleveland Cavaliers could potentially still be fine in the Eastern Conference when LeBron James, or if LeBron James decides to leave the organization. Before we talk about why the Cavs could potentially still be championship contenders once LeBron James leaves, let's talk about right now. So this team is actually really confusing. The team is just struggling really badly right now. There's drama everywhere, it seems to be, in the Cavs organization. I'm not really sure what's going on with the Cavaliers. No one really does. We just know, as of right now, they are struggling badly. After getting blown out by the Houston Rockets the other night, LeBron James even went in an interview and said, "We should just be off national TV." That is not a good look when your superstar's player is calling out the team saying we shouldn't even be on national TV. What is really going on with the Cleveland Cavaliers, and will they get it fixed? Eventually, I think this team will get it fixed. It's just a matter of time when. The team is struggling right now. Of course they are struggling, and they're trying to look to improve at the NBA trade deadline. And I think they can improve. There's just certain parts of the game that they really need. Defense is one, and they could maybe use another playmaker like LeBron James always complains about. They need another playmaker. We need a playmaker. DeAndre Jordan has been kind of connected to the Cavaliers. Rumors have died down recently. He has not really been connected since. But if the Cavaliers were to pull a trigger on a DeAndre Jordan trade, I don't think they should trade the Nets pick. And reason being is I'm not sure if DeAndre Jordan is really worth the Nets pick. Maybe if you were going to trade the Nets pick, you trade it for DeAndre Jordan and Lou Williams. DeAndre Jordan has a player option after this season. Lou Williams does not. He's going to be a free agent. So what are you going to do? If Lou Williams wants to leave, then you just kind of threw the Nets pick out for DeAndre Jordan. But if you were able to get those two to resign, maybe you trade the Nets pick, have communication with Lou Williams, DeAndre Jordan, and they say and commit that they will resign with the organization, then maybe the Cleveland Cavaliers might have something going on for next season. The funny thing to me really is that the Cavaliers are stacked. They are stacked. If you really look at their roster, I mean, they have Isaiah Thomas. Well, of course, Isaiah Thomas is not playing well right now, but they got D. Wade, Derrick Rose off the bench. They have LeBron James, Jay Crowder, Kevin Love got hurt, Tristan Thompson. They have all these guys that just, when you look at the team, they're like, man, that team is poised to win a championship. But then you look at what they're doing in the regular season, and you're just confused. Why is this team struggling? This team should be really good. We shouldn't even be talking about why the Cleveland Cavaliers are even struggling. We should be talking about how we're going to see a Warriors and Cavs series again, and we should all be complaining about that. But we're not. We're talking about why are the Cavs sucking. Fast forward in the 2018 offseason. Could the Cavaliers potentially be okay when LeBron James leaves? Let's pretend for a second that the Cavaliers, we have no idea what they do the rest of the season. Let's pretend they lose in the playoffs, they get bounced out by the Celtics or something like that. D. Wade, LeBron James, Derrick Rose, other players on the team that are unrestricted free agents decide to leave. Then you're looking at the Cleveland Cavaliers roster. They got Kevin Love on a one-year deal. Would Kevin Love be traded? Or should they maybe keep Kevin Love and maybe unleash him? Maybe Kevin Love becomes that number one option again. And then maybe you sign Isaiah Thomas back. You trade it for DeAndre Jordan. He accepts his player option. Lou Williams, you re-sign him to maybe a $10 million a year contract or something like that. The Cavaliers could actually still look really good even when LeBron James does leave. And that is the crazy part. As soon as LeBron James leaves, you think this team might be bad. This next question may decide the Cleveland Cavaliers' future on whether they're about to just go full rebuild or they're going to try to stay competitive. Is Isaiah Thomas worth max money? Right now, Isaiah Thomas, of course, not playing well. He just got back from injury. He's still kind of using that as an excuse. But how much longer can we excuse Isaiah Thomas just because he's coming back from an injury? But if you are the Cleveland Cavaliers, just pretend you're the Cavs GM. Isaiah Thomas walks up to you. I will stay with this team, but I want max contract. I want a max contract. If you are the Cavs GM, are you throwing down that money on Isaiah Thomas? Are you going to give Isaiah Thomas that max money? And if Isaiah Thomas doesn't pick up his play, is he still going to demand max money? That is the crazy question. But let's just pretend, for instance, the Cleveland Cavaliers do decide to throw Isaiah Thomas max money. Let's just pretend that Isaiah Thomas gets it figured out, which I'm sure he will. Maybe towards the end of the season, he'll look better. He'll look back to how he used to play as a Celtic. Speaking of the Celtics, I also heard an interesting fact the other day. The 3 players that were traded from the Celtics this previous season, Isaiah Thomas, Avery Bradley, and Jay Crowder, are all 3 having down seasons. They're all having bad seasons. Could that be just how good Brad Stevens really is? Is Brad Stevens just that good of a head coach that as soon as these 3 guys leave his system, they're just not good anymore? Then there's this. Could this be a potential projected lineup for the Cleveland Cavaliers next year? And if it was, how good could this lineup be? You got Isaiah Thomas at point guard. They throw the max money to Isaiah Thomas. They don't trade J.R. Smith, who is heavily rumored, or not really heavily rumored, but Cavs are rumored to trying to look to trade him. Then you have Jay Crowder, Kevin Love, DeAndre Jordan, 6-man off the bench, Lou Williams, bench Kyle Korver, Tristan Thompson off the bench, and Ante Zizic. How good of a lineup is that really? I mean, Kevin Love, let's just say, for instance, the Cavs decide to run the offense through Kevin Love, and he plays like he did in Minnesota, because Kevin Love is kind of in those stages of his career where you say that this is where these players enter their prime. It's just an interesting thought. Could this lineup win a championship? I think it's a pretty decent lineup. I think they could compete in the East very easily if they had a lineup like this, even after LeBron James leaves the Cavaliers. I think this team, if this was possible, they would have to trade for Lou Williams and DeAndre Jordan at the NBA trade deadline, of course. But I think this team could be really good if the Cavaliers were able to do this.